Hello and welcome back to my funny farm. I am Felicity, and I thought that since it's almost been 2 years now since I started the channel, that I would do another caffeinated conversations with myself. Now it is the evening actually, and I have had caffeine within the last 3 hours, and so shows you how used to it I am. So I thought it would be just really cool to do a really fast video just about caffeinated conversations with me. I will admit that there's so many times that I look back at the past ones and I get a kick out of them because I think about how cool it is that sometimes I can totally be by myself and people can understand that. So here we go again with another feature of caffeinated conversations with myself. Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Caffeinated Conversations with myself. I am Felicity. I will be your host this evening, and we will be interviewing myself as we go through how caffeine has affected our day-to-day life throughout this quarantine season of coronavirus. And we'd like to thank you, Felicity, for joining us today. Felicity, how are you? Well, let me just say, Felicity, that it is a pleasure to do caffeinated conversations with you. I just quite enjoy it. I will admit that I get a kick listening back to our talks, and oh, look at that, my shirt's inside out. Sorry about that wardrobe malfunction. I'm doing really well, thank you. I must admit that I have not had caffeine the way that I've had today, and so it's been a very interesting day. I feel like my heart is beating out of my chest, but I think that's why we all enjoy the effects of caffeine. May I say that those are some very tiny glasses. These are in fact children's glasses. I lost my last glasses, probably because somebody took them with them, and so I'm using my niece's today, and they are very small. So yeah, thank you for that, though. I did understand. I'm sorry. Sometimes even I have a hard time taking this serious or keeping it together. So you're telling me that those glasses are in fact your niece's and not a doll's glasses? All right. Okay, we'll go with that. And so it's actually quite a pleasure to be back on Caffeinated Conversations with myself. I don't get a whole lot of opportunities to interview myself. I mean, I talk to myself every day and all throughout the day, but interviewing myself is, something I don't do all the time. Well then, that was quite an interesting insight to that. Now let me ask you a question, Felicity. How often have you been drinking caffeine within the last recent, let's say, year? Well, it's funny that you ask that. I have had at least 1 cup of caffeinated coffee, this sounds so funny, within the last, I have 1 cup a day within the last maybe 9 months, I would say. I would say within the last 9 months. I had a coffee. I normally have it in the morning because I do still find that caffeine does definitely have different effects on me. I feel like I'm a nicer person with caffeine though, because then I actually have a little bit more energy, and I feel like I'm nicer because I actually am talkative and I'm not so quiet. Believe that, me quiet. But today I did have a 3 p.m. crash where I just felt extremely tired, so I had a cup of coffee a little bit later than I normally do. And I think that's what the conclusion of this caffeinated conversation actually happened with, because I normally don't have coffee past 3 p.m. if I can help it, but I actually had coffee at 5 today because I was just exhausted. So I was trying to get myself up and going, and this is the effects of that, is caffeinated conversations with myself. So don't get much better than that. So I think that's where, that's where this played in. So well, there you have it, folks. Thank you for joining us again on another edition of Caffeinated Conversations with myself. Thank you so much, Felicity, for joining us today. I hope to see you in further interviews. It's always a fun thing to do when we are caffeinated and energetic, and so thank you so much for joining us. As always, Felicity, it's quite a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me again on Felicity's Caffeinated Conversations with myself. It is a joy to be on once again, and for all of you viewers, thank you so much for joining us on Caffeinated Conversations with myself. So there you have it. One more caffeinated conversations with me. I will say that it is a lot of fun to do these. There's so many times where I just want to start laughing, and I have to remind myself to stay in character, as odd as that sounds. But thank you so much for joining us for caffeinated conversations with myself. They are a lot of fun to put on. If you have any video content that you'd like to see, questions that you'd like answered, please don't hesitate to comment on this below section. Oh my gosh, I really need a calming tea now. And thank you again for watching today's content. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and put the bell on so that way you get notifications when I put a video up. All right, thank you for joining me on Felicity's Funny Farm. Bye!